Right then guys, let's get straight into it. So this is the first bike I'm going to be doing on the channel. It's a 2008 crf450. It's locked up, so we're going to have a look into it, see what we can do. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest, at the minute. It's not had much love. I mean, what on earth went on down here? I don't know. But we'll get to it. So the first thing I noticed this morning, we've got no kickstart bolts and the thread looks, you can't really see it there, but the thread looks all worn. Let's have a look at the oil. Oh wow. Oh yeah, that looks really good, doesn't it? Right. So we'll have a look, we'll pull the oil filter out, have a look for some shavings. Hopefully there isn't any. Oh, missing a bolt. Not too sure what that's off, but seems to work. Let's get straight into it. So I was looking for a lot, all these metal filings. Oh yes. So I think we may have a main bearing seized. Let's find out. That looks nice, doesn't it? Bloody hell. Definitely engine out job, isn't it? Full rebuild. Lovely. At least it's got an air filter on it, I suppose. Take the cog off, take the gear selector off while it's in the bike, it makes it a bit easier. On to removing the tank. So we're going to take all these hoses off, take the coolant hoses off, pull the cap out. Wow, that was in. Carb off, check the carb off, get the engine out. So here she is. Missing the shimmer, it's dropped out. Once off this cam chain tensioner. Can't get the engine on top dead centre unfortunately as it's seized, so we'll have to work with what we can do. Nice and tight. We're going to take the flywheel cover off and see if there's anything jammed up down there, stopping the cam from spinning. Okay. As we're doing a full bottom end as well, we don't have to worry about that. We can just drop it over there, I suppose. As you can see, I loosened that off already. That one was missing a washer. Oh dear. All new valve. All new valve cutters for the valves. New oil pump retainer bracket. New oil pump impeller clip. A new valve. Got the valve spring. New chain. Brand new water pump seal kit and bearing. Brand new balance weight bearing. Counterbalance bearing, should I say, and seal. Gearbox seals. All new engine seals. New main bearings and seals. Top end, full engine. New valves. I've misplaced one exhaust valve, but I've got it somewhere. Genuine Honda one also. Brand new Vertex piston. Brand new hot rods crank. Just cut into that. This thing got some money spent on it, let me tell you. Head was absolutely knackered. So of course, we bought a genuine brand new Honda one. Still packaged, sealed. There's the new cylinder. It's not brand new, but it's in good condition compared to the old one. Got my suction cups for the valves, my grinding paste, lapping tool. And last but not least, brand new tyre to go on. better. We knock the edges off this crush washer, whatever you call it. There we go. And there's a washer on top of that. And then we can remove this whole basket. Lovely Talon clutch basket. Also, there's two washers, two bearings, sorry, and a sleeve. Make sure you put them back in. Clear this mess up. Kickstart mechanism. Don't really want to take all that out. Primary kickstart gear and sleeve. As you can see, it's got the timing markers on the cogs. They've got to go back in a certain way. And you can take, can you see that? Yes. Take the gear selector shaft out. Always remember the washer behind it. And then, as you can see, on here there is always like a little spacer type thing. Don't lose that. So as we are taking the gearbox out, we do have to remove all this. Be careful when you remove these, because they do have springs in them. They're fairly easy to put back together, but they will fall apart in your hands. Leave that on and still get the box out, so we'll try that. Back over this side to get the counter shaft out and the water and the oil pump off.
Hey up, Dan.
Hey, how you doing, Carl?
Yeah, see my eyes again.
Yeah.
Look like I've lost weight, don't I now?
Yeah. Oh, back over to this side then. Let's get the counterbalance weight out. So you have to get these right, you do. You have to twist it and get it to that angle. And it'll just come on out like that. Here's the fun part, because I don't have circlip pliers small enough to fit in them tiny little holes in there. But we'll get it. We'll get it off. Where we're at. Okay, so we managed to get that annoying circlip off. There we go. Always watch out for the pin. Can you see the pin in there? There we are. Set that back in there nicely, don't lose it. Oops. Now we go in and take this 2 8mm off for the oil. Well, that's for the cam chain, but it's holding the oil pickup in behind it as well. There we go. And this should just pull out. There we go. Beautiful. Pull that out with it. Keep that on there. Now I think we're ready to strip the cases. So off. Don't forget this little, I think that's a 13 actually, because I had to tap a thread into it. So, take that out. Oh, 2 copper washers on that, hold the oil in. The copper washers everywhere. So let's just make a note on it. Right. So I took all the case bolts out, put them in the polystyrene, so I know that bolt goes in there, that bolt goes in there, that bolt goes in there, so and so, you know, all the way around. So here it is with the 3rd gearbox in the bike. So I've done a full rebuild on this engine, as you know. Put it all back together in the bike. Test rode it for a couple of minutes and I had no 5th gear. So I contacted a bike breaker, purchased another gearbox, fitted it, put the bike back together again. I went to put the bolt in the counter shaft for the sprocket and realised it weren't going in. So I don't know if you can see inside there. Previous owner or one before him, whatever, I don't know, because it was a breaker, has snapped the bolt inside. As you can see on here, you can see through, well, not through, but you can see there's no bolt in there. And on this one you can clearly see something in the bottom, which is a snapped bolt. So then I had to strip it all again, put this gearbox in and put it back together again. So here we go. So always make sure you've got your one-way valve in for your oil in the case. Your oil pump is in position. And let's get the cases back together. Wish me luck. So, to get the cases back together again, we use the Tusk crank puller. There is a little line, you see that line there, and then there's a groove in there. We line them 2 together. Like that. Put your nut on the top. And then get your bars in there, like so. Tighten that nut down. Probably should have realised what size it was first, but never mind. That's going to be an issue. We ain't got a socket deep enough. So inspecting it as you go. Make sure you can still twist your oil pump. Give it a little tap this side. much easier if you've got the right tools, I'll tell you. As you can see, it's going together. Back in a minute. There we are. Nice bit of Loctite on there. Lightly seat that till we can get it taut. Okay. So now we're going to fit this. Just be careful with these springs, they will fall out. So you have to place it over the shift drum, whatever you want to call it. Then you have to push these springs down either side so it sits inside, just like that. I'll get 2 bolts. A little bit of Loctite when it comes. There we go. Bit much. Last thing you want is anything inside the engine coming loose. A bit of Loctite is always a good idea. In a bit of an awkward position, so getting this bolt started. Well, talk about amateur. There we go. On to the next one. We've got to start somewhere, haven't we? I'm not a professional. I'm new to this. So, bear with me, you know. I do watch a lot of YouTube videos myself on this sort of stuff. And I just find it really helpful. Because when I first started building them, I didn't have a clue what any of this was. Where it went, what it done. I still don't really, but I know where it goes. You know, I don't know the correct names for everything, but like I just said, I'm not a mechanic. And we've all got to start somewhere. Yeah. I did watch a video yesterday of a fella. He's got a real good setup. He's got a great following, doing really well. And even he said he started off in a house share. He had nothing. He used to have to run upstairs to get to his toolbox. Was in his bottom drawer of his wardrobe in his bedroom. He ran upstairs, grabbed some tools, ran back down to the outside, to the garage, to where he was working on his bikes. And yeah, I thought, well, why not start doing some content now, some videos, you know. Maybe I can help someone, maybe I can help myself. There we are. Always remember this little pin here, this little like a spacer, because that's what your shift shaft locates into when you put that in. Always also remember the washer on the back. That goes in there, just lines up. And onto that, just like so. And then obviously when you put the case back together, that's what pretty much holds all that in place. So there we go. So here we are. We've got now I think this is called the kickstart idler gear. It's got a sleeve inside it. You push that over this. So all that there. Then we have kickstart. So on these kickstarts, if you do take them apart, they've got a spring on the back, and then on this side, look, right, I've got a notch on the shaft itself. Sorry about sticking my head in the camera. And on the locator, whatever that's called, we have a notch as well. You see how they line up? So that's always good to know, I suppose. And then on the inside, we've got this kind of washer, spacer, whatever, I don't know. And that just goes over the spring, like so. And then obviously this sits in behind the locating arm on the gearboxes, on the cases. And then you just pull your spring around and lock it into the case. Just like so. I think I may. No, that's correct. Just double check. So you put that on the wrong way, I think it'll rub your case. So make sure it goes on that way. Free, nice and free. Move on. Put it doesn't go that way, does it? Counterbalance weight in. There we go. Now we can get the clutch on. So when you're installing your clutch, you put the sleeve over first, and you get your bearing. That slides on in there. Don't forget to put your push rod in and make sure it sits into the groove on the other side on the actuator arm. And then we can get our basket on. Oops. There we go. So we then have your crush washer, which, as you can see, these lines here sit over the actual basket themselves. There, so that locks them into place. Alright, we have a washer, and we have our nut. just like that. So I'm going to torque that down now. Alright, so this is why it's good to watch videos, because I've just put the clutch basket on. You're probably aware if you're watching. And I didn't put these cogs on, and you have to do that first. So here we go. So what we've got here, this cog goes on first, I believe, and there is, if you can see it, a flat spot up the top there, and there is a tiny flat spot on the top. Well, it's on the top now, but obviously that turns, of this cog. See that there? So that lines up with that, just like so. And then this one here, it also has the flat spot, and it has like a timing marker on there also, same as this cog. So that lines up with that spline there, and also the two timing dots mark up, line up. Right. And then we also have the counterbalance weight, which again, you can see it on the camera, has a flat spot and a timing marker. So make sure your shaft's all the way through, like so. But this one, you have to line it up with these dots, just like that. So all three dots have to line up with each other for the timing. And you get your washer on and your nut. Whoops. There we are. Now I can get the clutch basket on and get everything torqued down properly. There we are, so we've got the clutch basket all torqued down now. Another great set of tools. Clutch basket holder, take all this out, lock it into those, because when you turn that, the clutch spins. So that's that done. Now on to these crush washers. Look, pop that over. It is best to get a new one, to be honest, but I haven't got one. So you push that over there. Camera's a bit poor. And the same on the bottom. That's it. Give them a good tapping down. Make sure they're both tight. They don't actually look tight there, but they're about as tight as they're going to get. And then on to talking these down. So here we are, we've got the clutch case all back on. I did have to take this water pump case off and just twist the water pump ever so slightly to lock it in to the counterweight and onto the crank. I've tested the kickstart just quickly and that's all working fine. So here we go, let's get it back together again. There we are, let's get these all torqued down, back round the other side. We'll get back in the engine then. I always always do my case bolts to 10 Newton meters, but if you want to set the manual, they'll be around there anyway. I think 10's plenty. Right, now we're going to try and get this water pump back together. Oil pump, sorry. It's not a water pump. So, we've got to get our pin in, but unfortunately, got greasy fingers now. Try and spin that counterweight up a touch. Bloody dog hairs everywhere. It's not the ideal situation, this. Rebuilding outside. Come on. There we go. Sit that just in there nicely. There's the fun part, trying to get that on. So I have mentioned before in the video, I haven't got a set of circlip pliers small enough. So we have to make do with what we've got. Oops. So here goes. The last time I put this back on, I didn't record it right, and it went on within seconds. Now I'm recording. We all know it's going to be a pain in the butt. So, but it's all good fun. So they say. Yeah, I'll see you in a minute. So there it is, we got it on, in the end. I had to turn the camera off because if I didn't, I'd still be there tomorrow doing that. Luckily, we got it on. Some things can be a right pain in the butt, to say the least.
I'll be back.
I'll bet. There we have it. One bottom end complete. So we're going to put it back in the frame now and get the top end built. The reason I put it in the frame before I put the top end on is because I had an absolute nightmare getting this engine in the frame when it was all complete. Oh, it was a nightmare. So this is how we're doing it. Stay tuned. There we are. The engine's back in the frame. Gonna get the new head on. Get all that bolted down, timed up. That's enough. So there we are, we've got the head back on. The shims back in the order they came out, because they're all different sizes. And let's get the cam on and get it timed up. There we are, cam's all back together. Put the coolant pipe back on the head. It's timed up. Does look a tiniest bit out, but I've not got the tensioner in yet, so we'll get all that done. So we're making a bit of progress. We've got the engine back in, carbs on, airbox is all attached. So we'll look around this side. Got the exhaust on. We've just got to put the coolant hoses on. A few more bolts here and there, seat and tank. Fill her up and see where we go and see if she runs. There we are, she's back together again. Let's see if she fires up.
You'd be able to get one off eBay, wouldn't you? Or whatever it's called, just talking with the camera. You'd be able to quickly get that.
I haven't even put the fuel on and it's looking for it. A bit of choke.